Vin Diesel just dropped a new tease for Riddick Furia, sharing an image that hypes up an intense desert action scene. The upcoming fourth film in the Chronicles of Riddick series brings Diesel back as the iconic anti-hero, once again teaming up with director David Twohy. After Riddick got a mixed response, this sequel will finally take Riddick back to his home planet, where he discovers other Furians struggling to survive against a deadly new threat. So, let's break down everything we know about the movie so far. Before diving into the latest updates, let's quickly recap what Riddick Furia is all about for those who might not be familiar. This upcoming sci-fi action film is written and directed by David Twohy and is based on the character Richard B. Riddick, originally created by the Wheat brothers. It's the fourth movie in the Chronicles of Riddick series and serves as a sequel to Riddick, once again bringing back Vin Diesel as the badass anti-hero we all know and love. So what's the story this time? Well, Riddick finally makes his way back to his home planet, a place he barely remembers and fears might be nothing but ruins after the necromongers had their way with it. But when he arrives, he discovers he's not alone. There are other Furians still fighting to survive, struggling against a new and dangerous enemy. But here's the interesting part. Some of these Furians seem to have more in common with Riddick than he ever expected. The journey to getting this movie made has been a long one. Back in April 2016, Vin Diesel confirmed that he and David Twohy were working on a fourth Riddick film, which at the time was called Furia. They were also developing a spin-off TV series called Merc City. Diesel even teased fans by asking, "Are you guys excited to hear about Furia? Do you want to know where it all began with that dark character Riddick?" That definitely got people talking. By May 2016, Diesel suggested that production could start as early as 2017, and Twohy confirmed that the film would have an R rating, staying true to the gritty tone fans love. However, there wasn't much word on whether Merc City would tie into the movie. Fast forward to July 2019, and the script for the film was finally completed, with the official title changing to Riddick Furia. But it wasn't until February 2023 that the project was officially announced, confirming Diesel and Twohy were reuniting for this long-awaited fourth installment. Now, as for filming, principal photography kicked off on August 23, 2024, with production taking place across Germany, Spain, and the UK. And just recently, Diesel shared a new behind-the-scenes image showing himself in full Riddick gear behind the wheel of a dune buggy-type vehicle. The shot is set against a desert landscape that looks very much like it belongs on Furia, giving us a small taste of the movie's visual style and action sequences. So what does this all mean for the franchise? Well, let's be honest. The Chronicles of Riddick movies have had a pretty mixed track record over the years. The original Pitch Black became a cult classic after its home video release, which led to the bigger budget The Chronicles of Riddick in 2004. That one had an estimated $110 million budget, but only made around $115.9 million worldwide, meaning it barely made its money back. Because of that, the franchise went quiet for nearly a decade until Riddick came along, made on a much smaller $38 million budget. That film did better financially, grossing $98.3 million worldwide, but still didn't make massive waves at the box office. If we look at how the franchise has performed critically and commercially over the years, it's clear that each film has had varying degrees of success. Pitch Black remains the highest rated by critics, scoring 60% on Rotten Tomatoes, while audiences gave it an even stronger 77%. With a modest $23 million budget, it turned a solid profit with a worldwide box office haul of $53.2 million. Then came The Chronicles of Riddick, which expanded the story on a grander scale but didn't fare as well with critics, scoring only 29%, though audiences were slightly more forgiving at 65%. The film's hefty $110 million budget put pressure on it to perform, yet it only managed to scrape by with $115.9 million, making it a financial disappointment. 9 years later, Riddick brought things back to basics with a leaner $38 million budget. It received a 58% critic score and a 56% audience score, showing a more balanced but lukewarm reception. Still, it performed better financially, grossing $98.3 million worldwide, though not enough to turn it into a major hit. With numbers like these, it's no surprise that getting a fourth film off the ground took so long. The theatrical interest in the franchise hasn't been huge, and critics haven't exactly been kind to it, but the setup for Riddick Furia suggests that this movie might serve as a bit of a reboot or fresh start. If it doesn't rely too heavily on past films, it could be an easier entry point for new viewers, which might help bring in a wider audience. One of the biggest things working in favor of this movie is the concept of Riddick finally returning to Furia. The idea of him facing off against an entirely new enemy while discovering more about his own people sounds like a natural evolution for the character. Plus, there's always been a bit of mystery surrounding Furians, so this could be a chance to dive deeper into their lore and abilities. Speaking of abilities, Riddick's night vision is probably his most famous power, but being an Alpha Furian means he has more going for him than just glowing eyes. If Riddick Furia explores more of what makes him unique and introduces others like him, it could add a whole new layer to the franchise's mythology. That said, there are still some challenges ahead. Outside of Fast and Furious, which is approaching its big finale with Fast and Furious 11, Vin Diesel hasn't had much success leading other franchises in recent years. Movies like Bloodshot and The Last Witch Hunter didn't perform well, either critically or commercially. That raises the question, will Diesel alone be enough to draw in audiences for Riddick Furia? It's hard to say, but what's clear is that the film will have to deliver something fresh and exciting to make an impact. At the very least, fans can expect plenty of action, and based on that behind-the-scenes image, it looks like we're in for some epic desert chases. Whether Riddick Furia ends up revitalizing the franchise, or simply serves as one last ride for the character, remains to be seen. But after years of waiting, we're finally getting another chapter in Riddick's story, and honestly, that alone is something to be excited about. That said, there are rumors that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson might be playing one of the Furians in Riddick Furia. If true, this would be a major addition to the franchise, bringing in one of Hollywood's biggest action stars to go head-to-head, or possibly team up with Vin Diesel's iconic anti-hero. Given their history of on-screen and off-screen tension in Fast and Furious, the idea of them sharing the screen again is bound to get fans talking. If Johnson does join the cast, the question becomes, what kind of role would he play? Could he be an ally helping Riddick reclaim Furia, or a powerful antagonist standing in his way? The Furians have long been hinted at as a formidable warrior race, and introducing a character played by The Rock could give us a glimpse at what Riddick might have become if he had grown up among his own people. Of course, these are just rumors for now, and there's no official confirmation, but if Riddick Furia is aiming to expand its audience, casting a global megastar like The Rock would be a smart move. Whether it happens or not, the idea alone adds an extra layer of intrigue to the film's development. And that's a wrap for today's video. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one.